All right, let's do another Chevy restoration installment. And so last time I got in there and I did the water pump and changed out some hoses, some belts, some pulleys, all of that kind of thing. I got this 2000 Chevy Silverado 1500 back into roadworthy condition now, where we can take it down the road and we can operate it and everything's going to be fine. We don't have to worry about breaking down as far as the things that I knew about. Hopefully there's not some things in there that are looming that are going to pop up, but right now I'm trying to address the things that I know about. And so one of the other big things that I wanted to get to was some of the electronic issues that I was having inside. Namely, the electric windows on either side are not working. The electric mirrors are not operating, and the door lock on the passenger side is not operating, although the door lock on the driver's side does. So it's just one of these things that's a little bit frustrating to try to figure it out. So I've got a bunch of parts that are coming that I'm just gonna be replacing and see what fixes it. If none of that fixes it, then I'm gonna be in there looking for broken wires, and that might be kind of an ongoing project with this. So anyway, I'm gonna probably put that on another video because it just requires door panels coming off and regulators being replaced and switches being replaced and all of this. So I'll go through another video on that. But in the meantime, what I decided to do, and I've got everything in that I need to accomplish this, is that I'm going to change out the headlights, the running lights, the turn signals, and those kind of things. These lights have just gotten kind of these lenses on here have just gotten dingy over the years. I have tried some of that polish that you can put on those to kind of brighten those back up again. It just doesn't seem to be working. And the running lights down on the bottom, that light housing right there, they just get so dingy. They actually get mildew inside of them. They get water inside of them, and they just get to a point where you can't clean them up. So I've just decided to change all of these out and put new bulbs in there as well. So we're going to do that at this point, and I've also got some tail lights that I've got on order for it, and so we're going to change out all the lights, and we're going to really try to brighten this thing up a little bit. So let's get in here and change all that out. All right, so we got the hood up, and then now we need to take out the headlight and then the running light, turn signal lights down there. And thankfully, Chevy has made this a very simple process. And it just requires these two pins, that one right there and that one right there. So you just pull that thing open, you pull that pin out, make sure you save that. Let's put them over there, and then that entire headlight comes out right there, and that's all there is to it. And then I've got two plugs, one right there and one right there, low beam and high beam. And so we'll just disconnect those plugs and then pop the new one in. But while you have this out, that's also going to give you the access to the running light, turn signal, lens assembly down there. So let me go ahead and get this headlight disconnected, and then we'll get to that lower one. All right, so I got the headlight taken off of there. All it is just these two clips. They're very simple to get off. And then in order to get this lower light assembly off there, the turn signal, the daytime running light, that kind of stuff, it's actually very simple as well. And right down in there's a clip, and you can see that I'm moving it. You can actually put your finger on that, and you can move that clip over, and it will actually allow you to pull that light assembly out of there. And of course I can't do it with one hand. Maybe I can. Let's see if I can. Put a little pressure on it. There it goes. So that's all it was. It's just this thing right here. You just have to push that in enough where you can get this thing to pop out, and it just goes into a slot down there. And then this other side just comes right out as well. So then you have the three connectors. One is the turn signal, then you got a running light and a daytime running light. You just pop these three connectors off right here, and they're the type where you just spin them, and then that whole assembly comes out. So thank you, Chevy, for making that a very simple process. I don't like these daytime running lights. They're always burning out all the time. With my new light assembly that I'm putting in there, I'm actually going to look at putting an upgraded light bulb in there, and hopefully we can have some better longevity off of that. But let me just go ahead and get these connectors off of here, and then we'll swap all these out. Okay, and so these are my new headlight and then running light turn signal assemblies that I got. These are direct OEM replacements, and so I thought about going with some LEDs and some upgraded lights and all that, but then I thought with this project I just want to restore everything back to original condition, and I'm just going to go with the direct lights, and they're fairly inexpensive as well. And so I also had some upgraded bulbs that were put into the headlights as well. They've already installed those bulbs for me, and so that's the one upgrade that I did make. So I'll put a link in the description as to where I got these headlights from, and so let's go ahead and get them back in. All right, so as you can see down here on these running lights, marker light, turn signal, and then this is the daytime running light. I am not going to go back with anything in this daytime running light. These things never work right on these Chevys. You see Silverados, you see Sierras, you see Yukons, you see all kinds of stuff going down the road, and invariably there's always one of those daytime running lights that's not working, and it's just a bad design. And here, I'll show you exactly why it's a bad design. Here is the bulb that I took out of that daytime running light right there, and there is why it is a bad design. It gets water in there, and the thing is always burning out. I can't tell you how many times over the years that I have replaced the bulbs in these things because they're always burning out. So I'm just going to put this housing back into the lamp assembly, and I am not going to put a bulb in there because it's always a pain. I need to get some new bulbs for this turn signal. I did get a new bulb for this marker light over here on the side. I already had some of these. I did not have any of these, so I will be replacing that shortly. But this whole thing is so easy to get out that I've written the number down on this, and I'll get a replacement for that soon. But this one still works. So let's go ahead and get this assembly back in. All right, so I got those plugs put back into place again. Very simple. It's just one of those things where you just align the tabs with the cutouts on the housing, rotate it a little bit, and it just kind of pops in place. So very simple process. So now that's in, and now all we have to do is just slide this back in. This is also very simple. So right over here, we have these tabs that are going to slide into a slot, which is right up in there. And then this little mechanism right here, right there, you see how that pinches? That's going to slide right into that slot, and you are done. So Chevy did a really nice job as far as making this a very simple process. All right, so now we'll go ahead and put the new headlight into place. Two connectors on this, one for the high beam, one for the low. So you have a connector that is right here. You have a connector that is right there. And all you do is you just slide them right in, and it clips in to place. So it has these little clip locations that are on there. Slide it in. In fact, that's, oops, I can't do it. It shifted on me. But anyway, very, very simple. Just slide it in. It will clip into place. All right, so we got those into place, and just like the removal, you just slide the headlight into place. You take these pins right here, you slide them down. There is a little bit of wiggling you have to do, but it's no big deal. And then once it gets down, you just lock the pin into place. Same thing on the other side. And that headlight is in there, and it is secure. So I'm not sure how much adjustment has to be done on these as far as going down in there and adjusting these as far as the beam is concerned. When I get the other side in, then I will go ahead and look at that and see if any adjustments need to be made. Pretty simple process. Replacing new headlights on a Chevy. Let's go ahead and do the other side. Yeah, so that's another one of those running lights. It's burned out, but at least it doesn't have water in it like the other one did. But I'm not going back with those running lights. I don't like them, and I'm not doing it. All right, so I got those new headlights and new turn signal marker lights replaced. They would also, these ones down on the bottom would also be called daytime running lights, but like I just said, I did away with that bulb. It's just not a good, the bulb and the housing assembly is just not a very well engineered assembly as far as a filament bulb is concerned. Now I do know that there's some LED bulbs out there that you can put in there that operate a lot better, and I may choose to go with that, but for right now I just did away with those inside daytime running lights just because they've always been a pain, but right now just everything else is working great, and that whole light housing and that lens on the outside is just much brighter. I just could not get that that dullness, that haze off of it that takes place on those lights over a period of time, and they're cheap enough. I'll be honest with you, I don't think I paid $50 for this entire light assembly right here, both headlights and both running lights down on the bottom. Now that doesn't include bulbs. Like I said, on the headlights I did get some high intensity bulbs for that. They already installed them in the headlights for me, both the regular headlight and the high beam light, and they came that way, and I'll put a link in the description. But anyway, that's a big improvement. So that's the headlights, and now let's get to the taillights. All right, and along with the headlights, I am also going to replace these taillights while I'm at it, and very simple process. But as you can see, these are kind of dingy as well, and even though I put some of that polish on there, you just can't seem to brighten that up. And huge difference between the two. There's the new one, of course, and in comparison, I mean, you can just see a huge difference in that lens. So let's go ahead and put some new taillights on it too. Very simple process. It just has two screws. One is right there, the other one is right down there, and then that allows you to pull the whole unit out. And then once you get the unit out, then you can just remove the bulbs in each one of the locations and put it back in the new unit, slide it all back in, put the two screws back in, and you're in business. So the headlights is a simple process to change, and the taillights are a simple process as well. So let's do it. All right, so those are just some of those ones you just press down on a tab and you rotate it. I mean, they come out very, very easily. Just align the tabs on the new one, rotate it, snaps into place. That's it. Alright, so we got all the lights replaced on this vehicle. It looks good. Lenses much better than the ones that were on there. Alright, so I'm happy with that. And then the next thing that I'm going to have to address, and do that in a separate video, is going to be the electrical problem that I'm having with the windows and the mirror and the door locks. So I'll be addressing that next. The Chevy project is moving along. On to the next job.